Hi, welcome to yoga. I'm recording this a little bit late for you guys, but I hope you are here to join me and enjoy our class today. Have a block blanket and strap nearby, and let's get started in child's pose. Knees wide. Let's extend the arms and drop the head to a block or to the mat. And begin to lengthen the breath, bringing the chest closer with each exhale to the mat. Lengthening out the exhales, extending the inhales. Letting yourself feel the entirety of the spine here. As you exhale, curving the low back, pulling through the tailbone and pubis. Inhaling, lengthening the chest, dropping the shoulders. Coming to your sankalpa, your intention today. What is it you would like to cultivate for your practice inside, in the greater world? Relaxing the face and chest and head, and just sinking into that intention here. Take another couple breaths here. Extending from the hips. And on your next exhale, coming to tabletop. As you come up to tabletop, open up the left arm, circle it around, exhale back to child's pose. Inhale, take the right arm behind you and circle it. And leaning back into child's pose. Inhale, knees, chest, chin. Come to a low cobra here. Bring the toes together, elbows back. Reach forward with the chest. And exhale, untuck the toes, elbows in. Coming back into child's pose. Inhale into tabletop. Come forward, reach through the chest into our cow. Exhale into cat, tucking the chin, tucking the tailbone. And once more like this. Elbows back, reach through the head and neck. Exhale. And then start to move in intuitive circles, just warming up the spine, looking behind you, side to side, rolling the chest up and around and down. And moving the way your breath wants to. Any sticky spots, you can bring the breath. Reversing direction. And circling the neck here. One way, and then the other way. And then inhale, bring that right hand to the center of the mat. Left hand reaches up. Exhale, drop the shoulder. Come into a twist here. Using that right hand to press the shoulders open. Keeping the hips square. Engage the abdomen with the breath. And twist through the upper chest. And inhaling. Reverse, bring that left hand up. And exhale, child's pose. Inhale, knees, chest, chin. Come to a high cobra. Press through the hips. Strong legs, chest reaches. Exhale, make your way back to child's pose. Inhale, tabletop. Left hand in the center of the mat, right arm reaches up to the ceiling. Exhale, thread that needle, dropping the right shoulder to the mat. Left hand comes outside your mat to press the shoulders open. And as you exhale, pull the navel center in. So you inhale, lengthen the spine, keeping the hips square. Inhale, press through the left arm, open up the right back to the ceiling again. Exhale, table, back to child's pose. Inhale, come through to high cobra, knees, chest, chin. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale back to your down dog today, pedaling out the feet, dropping those elbows, pressing into the palms of the hands, rotating the palms of the hands externally so you find that opening in the tops of the shoulders and neck, and then pressing all the weight back into the heels, opening up the inner thighs, sits bones. Good. Inhale, come forward to plank. Pull the abdomen in, reach the chest forward, engage the legs. Find your sturdy plank pose. Imagining you're in mountain pose at the top of your mat. Holding it for 3, 2, 1. Drop the right knee, instep of the left. Open up the left arm. Side Vashisthasana variation here. Reach the arm to the front of the room. And as you press the right knee into the mat, pull the abdomen in, tuck the tailbone. Drop that right shoulder. Exhale. Come back to plank and downward facing dog. Exhaling fully. As you inhale, come forward to plank. Drop the left knee, instep of the right foot comes to the mat, and then circle that right arm behind you, reaching for the ceiling, pressing into that left shin, and again, dropping this left shoulder to bring a little core balance, kind of a gentle hip opener here. You can reach that arm forward by your head. Notice what that does to the breath. And exhale, drop the right arm, lift the left knee plank. And you can lower down knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga, high cobra, or up dog. Lifting the legs off the mat, just the tops of the feet. If you're in up dog, exhale, make your way to down dog, either coming through child's pose or using your core to bend from up dog to down dog. Good. Inhale, look forward, bend the knees, get light in the hips, and let's take 2 big steps to the top of our mat. Inhale, halfway pose, hands on the shins. Exhale, forward fold. And you can keep a bend to the knees here. As you forward fold, draping the abdomen over the thighs, dropping the head. And as you do that, widening the sacrum and pressing the inner knees back. Should give you a nice stretch through the hamstring and the low back. Shake your head yes, nod your head no. Move your neck around, just release everything, let everything go up until this point as we come into our practice. Inhale, look forward, reach the arms up, coming into Urdhva Hastasana, little back bend, and then thumbs to heart, mountain pose. Equilibrate yourself in your mountain pose, pressing evenly through the feet, balls of the feet, sinking all the energy through the floor, lifting through the quads, lifting the chest away from the hips. Moving up, dropping those shoulder blades, widening the collarbones and the back of the neck. Good, and let's make our way through a Surya Namaskar series. Opening up the arms. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, place the hands, hop or step back to plank. If you're hopping, bend arms to chaturanga, lower down. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg back. Open up the hip. Exhale, square it, pull it forward to the right wrist. Look forward, low lunge. Exhale the left to meet it. Inhale, lengthen through the front of the body. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep up. And exhale, coming down again. Let's do the other side. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, place the hands, hop or step back. Lowering down. Look forward, open the chest and collarbones, bring the abdomen through the arms. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg back, open up the hip and the knee, and then square it, pulling that leg through behind the left wrist. Low lunge here, inner thighs up and back. Look forward, chest up. Exhale, right comes forward to meet it. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, open up the arms. Reach, tuck the tailbone, squeeze the legs. And exhale down. Let's come into our chair pose. Feet together. Sit back, reach forward. Legs together. Exhale, forward fold. Just moving with the breath here. Inhale, open. chest up halfway. Exhale, place the hands, hop or step back to plank, or lower to chaturanga if you're hopping. On that exhale, inhale, elbows back, chest forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, the right leg back. Sweep it forward to the right wrist, left heel down, coming up, squaring the hips into warrior one. So as you raise those arms, if you're not feeling any, you can raise them in a straight line or grab opposite elbows, dropping those inner shoulders, opening up the sides of the neck, and freeing up the breath as you bend the right knee. And exhale, take a vinyasa here, plank, chaturanga, upward facing, and downward facing dog. Inhale the left leg back, sweep it forward to the left wrist, right heel down, open up the arms to the sky. Exhale, bend into that left knee and roll those shoulders towards the front. Making sure to strengthen the back leg so that the heel is grounded, and we're finding that difference in the abdomen with the legs asymmetrical. Exhale, drop the arms, chaturanga. Inhale, moving with the breath, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, take 2 big steps or hop to the top of your mat. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, feet together, knees together. Squeeze thighs, sit back, chair pose. Drop the shoulders, lift through the chest as you look through the hands. And then take that back bend into straight legs. Not changing a thing about the spine, Urdhva Hastasana. Exhale down. So notice when we went from chair pose with the chest forward, legs bent, notice how my back doesn't change as I straighten my legs and naturally come into this back bend at the top of the mat. So thinking about these shapes as we move through our vinyasa. Let's come into chair pose again. Sit back, squeeze the thighs. Exhale, keep that shape. Straighten legs, forward fold. Drop the head. Inhale, lengthen. Place the hands, keeping that strength in the waist and chest. And then hopping back to bent elbows or stepping back. But if you feel a little more energized and you want to work your core a little bit, hop back to plank, hop back to chaturanga with just a little bend in the elbows so you're easy on your joints. Lowering down. Inhale, up dog, lift the knees off the mat, squeeze the quads, chest forward. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg back. Sweep it forward, warrior two here. Open up the arms to the side of the mat. Bend that right knee. And then using the strength in the left leg to widen the left hip point away from the front knee. Let's reverse our warrior. Left hand behind the waist, reach the right arm by the ear. And you can look down at your left foot or under the arm. And then exhale, let's come into triangle. Straighten that right leg. Heel toe the left in slightly at an angle. Hinge the hips to the back, lengthen the right side of the body as you turn the chest up towards the ceiling. Squeeze the quads in, drop the right shoulder down the back, creating space in the neck. And then using your core, can you look up at the left thumb? Good. And looking down, grab that right ankle with the right hand, bend the right knee. Left hand on the hip. And let's come into a side angle here. Pulling the right hip towards the left heel. Left arm comes by the ear in our side angle. So we have a little shorter stance here. The right arm and shin are together. And we're breathing into that low abdomen space to create strength in the back leg and expansion through the chest. Good. Left hand on hip. Look down. Lift the chest. Bring that arm out 45 degrees outside the pinky toe and lift the back leg. Coming into half moon here. So we just worked our core, so bend that right knee slightly and use that inner thigh strength to lift this left hip away from the floor, turning the chest. And then exhale, warrior three variation. Drop the left hand, square the hips, drop that left hip down. So variation in that we're not doing splits, we're not doing full warrior three, but the fingertips are down. And then reach the left foot back, coming into crescent, slowly bending that right knee. Can you lift the arms off and even just balance here for a moment, just with the right foot. And then reach, 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 reach. Left heel up, crescent pose. Exhale, arms out to the side, the opposite way. So turning towards the right into a twist here. Pull the sits bones together, lift the chest, squeeze the glutes to help you turn the chest. Good. Inhale, warrior one. Exhale, take a vinyasa here. Looking forward, lifting knees back to downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up. Sweep it forward to left wrist, right heel down. Warrior two. Open up the arms. Reach fingertips away, drop the shoulders. Right leg is turning inward, left leg is turning externally. Can you get a little lower? Let's reverse this. Right arm behind the hip, left arm by the ear, looking down, looking up. Good. Opening up into triangle, lengthen that left leg. Heel toe the foot in about 6 inches. Squeeze the thighs, hinge the hips to the back of the room, left arm to the shin. And use the left strength in that quad, in both quads, to turn from the low abdomen. Drop that left shoulder down the back. About keeping that shape in our upper body. even as the legs are doing something different. Good. Looking down, bend the left knee, slide that left hand down to the inner ankle, and then just take a shortened side angle here. Bringing that right arm by the ear, bending the left knee over the ankle, tracking over those second and third toes, and pulling in the left glute towards the right heel. And then can you drop those shoulders and lengthen the neck, turning the chest towards the ceiling. So this really gets nicely into the breath, into the waist, power from the low abdomen. Good. Look down, right hand on hip. Bring that left hand out 45 degrees from the pinky toe and step up into your half moon. And you can keep that bend in that left foot if it helps you to find strength in that inner knee, inner thigh, to lift the right leg higher. Open up that right arm. Same action of turning from the waist, from the belly button area, pulling the low abdomen in with the breath. And then exhale, warrior three variation. Drop the right arm, right hip drops square, but we're keeping the right leg lifted. And lengthen out the chest, keeping the abdomen lifted, reaching through those right toes. And then can we come off of the fingertips, bend the left knee, and make our way gracefully back into our crescent lunge. Right heel up, arms by the ears, pressing through the right heel, bending that left knee. And then exhale, twist to the left, opening the arms. And that left arm doesn't have to come straight behind you, but open enough so that you feel movement from on that left oblique side. So the hips are square. Just creating length from the right hip to the left shoulder here as we turn. Good. Let's make our way to vinyasa. Hands inside the foot, plank pose, lower down, upward facing, and downward facing up. So spend a moment in your down dog. Or if you need to take child's pose, slowing the breath. From wherever you are, come forward into plank, and then drop the heels to the right side, coming into Vashisthasana on the right. Lifting the heels up. If this is too much, you can take that first variation with the right knee down. But I challenge you, since we're already warmed up, to look down at your hand. It should be about eye level, not too much forward. And then if you squeeze the quads together with the right heel side of the foot down, you can lift the hips. Good. And then drop to plank. Let's take this to the other side. Drop the heels to stack to the left. Raise the right arm. And squeeze that left quad and that left oblique and lift the hips. So the tailbone reach the chest. And exhale, plank pose. Lower down. Let's take a locust here, dropping the tops of the feet down, lifting the knees, lifting the chest, and bringing the hands by the waist, and getting super light on the hands as we lift the chest. So my hands aren't touching. I'm squeezing my legs and reaching here. And then bring the elbows underneath the shoulders and press through the hands. Cobra variation. And bring a nice length in the tailbone, squeeze the glutes, and reach through the center of the low ribs, the heart, the chest. Good, and exhale down. Untuck the toes, come into child's pose. Walk the hands back, lift the knees. Coming into our crow pose. So if you need a block, you can try this with a block. I'm on the balls of my feet. I'm lifting my knees up by my tricep upper arm area. And then my hands are in front. And then from here, I'm squeezing my knees to my arms and lifting my hips to come over my hands, 1 foot, 2 feet, toes touch to lift. So another way of getting into this is lifting the hips and then placing the knees on the backs of the arms, upper arms, and just gently rocking forward so that the knees come to a shelf. This is how I first learned. It's a little more pressure on the arms, slightly more uncomfortable, but definitely works. For a little more comfort and ease, it's nice to lift the knees up to the outside of the arms and squeeze and come forward. So play with this a little bit. Even if you come to the balls of the feet and lift the hips to rock forward, lifting 1 foot, down, lifting hips, lifting heels, other foot. So find your version of crow where you can get light in the center and use a little bit of arm strength here. Good. And exhale. Let's lengthen the legs to the back of the mat here. Drop the head. Bring that left hand in front of the right foot and twist to the right in this short, wide leg stance, opening up the right arm. And exhale. Bring that right hand in front of the left toes and twist to the left. Good, and coming forward into plank. Let's bring that right knee up to the chest and then drop the left heel to the mat. The left arm up, and let's swing that right knee towards the left side of the mat. And then swing it back to hover, and then pull it into the chest, bent towards the left. So it's just like Vashisthasana, with heels stacked, except our under leg, our right leg, is bent, and we're getting a little core action here. And then you can shoot that right leg out, and bring it back in again. Drop that left arm, plank pose, vinyasa here. Creating and generating that core strength. So let's take this to the other side. So plank pose, bend the left knee to the chest, and then simply drop that right heel to the left, and notice the left knee is going to come towards the right side of the mat. Open up the right arm, lift the left knee further, and then turn, twist. Left knee comes down behind the left wrist. Pull the knee in, side angle, and down to the mat. So left arm is firm, right leg is strong, and you're feeling that left side waist and left abdomen. Last one. Pull the knee in and shoot that heel out. Lift the hips. Pull the knee in again. Drop to plank. Vinyasa here. Exhale down. And then let's drop to the knees. Come into child's pose. Good. And then tuck the ankles underneath. Bring the feet out in front, and then have a strap just in case. We're going to do a little revisit to an old pose that we went into detail with some months ago. Good. So let's bring that right knee in. Give it a hug. Actually, first, let's bring both feet out and then pull the buttock flesh away so that your sits bones are grounded. So really feel that, how it feels to be seated now in your Dandasana. Hands on either side of the hips. Lift the chest. Chest to chin, chin to chest. Shoulders down the back. Rotate those shoulders away from the feet, and then inner shoulders down the back. So then you start to really feel this in your core as you breathe and use your core strength to lengthen the spine. Good. And let's bend the right knee. And bring the right hand outside of the right foot. Left hand can be by the hip still. And then let's kind of work this. Let's pull like an archer pulls an arrow. Let's pull with the right hand that knee back. Press forward. And then let's take the left hand to meet it, coming into crane pose. Getting a nice stretch here. So I have my left leg extended. Alternately, you can have the left knee bent. So options here. The trick here is not to curve the back body, but to lift through the abdomen and chest towards the heel. A straight leg, reaching from the heel, so you're going to feel that stretch in the back of the right leg. Good. And then drop the left arm by the hip and then bring that right knee in. Take the left hand outside of the right foot, and then the right hand is going to come underneath the leg. So remember when we practiced this and we imagined that this right knee was like a backpack going over your shoulder? So the left hand is going to help bend that knee, just to shimmy that knee up the arm. And then that leg's going to pinch, clamp down onto the upper arm here. Right hand's going to come by the hip, just like in Dandasana. And then from here, left hand down, can you lift the whole body, or even some of the body? It's just a core exercise. So tuck the tailbone, tuck the chin, press and lengthen the arms. Even if you just lift your sits bones and your left heel stays grounded, that's great. Pretty cool, huh? So that right leg is secure over the tricep. Press through the arms. Heel is down. Good. Let's try this on the other side. Bend the left knee. Feel a nice hug. And then left hand comes outside the pinky toe, pulling the ball of the foot in, like an archer, kind of reaching. So that knee sort of comes behind the left shoulder girdle, sort of eclipses the torso here, towards the back of the room. Reaching forward and back. Let's come into our crane, grabbing both sides of the feet, lifting through the heel. And get strong in both the right and the left leg. Lifting the chest up. You can keep a micro bend to the left knee as you bring the chest forward towards the toes. Good. And then let's take that right hand across to the other side of the foot. So the right hand comes outside of the left foot. And then the left arm, as you pull that right knee back, the left arm comes next to the hip. And then the knee can, or rather the hamstring can touch the upper arm so the calf can press down over the upper arm. So depending on where you are, maybe the leg will be almost over the shoulder. If you're more flexible, maybe it'll be just above the elbow, and that's okay. I like kind of mid to upper arm, if you can. And then that left arm super sturdy outside the left hip. And once you've got that calf over the shoulder, over the arm, bring that right arm down to the right side of the hip. And then there's going to be that slight bend to the elbows. Let's lift the hips. Maybe even lifting the right heel. Extra core strength. So try this. Try lifting, starting out with just lifting the hips. The right heel can stay grounded. Straightening the legs, lifting the hips. Squeezing that lower abdomen in and up. Use the chest, the chin, and lower down. Let's try one more time. Clamp down on that left leg. Press through the arms. Squeeze. And exhale down. Good. Let's come into cobbler's pose. Bring the feet together, knees wide. Lift the chest. And then lean forward, letting the low back, tailbone be long. The inner knees sink. If this is super duper difficult or painful on your groin, you can bring something underneath your knees here. But for the most part, it should be, with the pressure on the feet, should be a nice balance to help to relieve that pain and open and stretch the inner thighs. Gently pulling the spine out of the pelvic bowl, reaching the chest forward and out, elbows back. Good. Now let's take this to our finale, so let's practice this again. This time, instead of just lifting the hips with the knee over the shoulder, over the arm, we're going to see if we can drape the ankles on top, or drape is not the right word here. I would say cross the ankles to prepare for figure 8 pose, okay? But if that's not in your practice, then just try even lifting more strongly through the core, or even lifting the straight leg totally off of the mat. Okay? So we'll go straight into it. Grab that right foot, pull it in behind the back. Bring that left hand to cross to hold the foot while you set up your right arm outside of the right hip. And kind of shimmy that upper arm underneath the knee on the right side. And then you're going to fingers forward, right hand by the hip. And then left hand comes down. And then let's lift the whole body. And maybe, with the body lifted, bend that left knee and just cross it on top of the ankle. It's actually quite accessible. We just have to imagine with our mind that we can do it. So even if your brain is like, what's going on? And thinking about all these things, try to not think about all the little things and try and think about the overall shape that you want to achieve. And then the breath can just move us right in there. Okay. Let's try that one more time. Right hand down by the hip. Right leg is squeezing the upper arm. Left hand by the hip. Press the hips up. And with the hip press up, squeeze. And then pull the abdomen in. Lift that ankle to cross. And then, woohoo, we're floating. Ankles are crossed. Super strong core. Let's try the other side. Pull the left knee in, give it a hug. Right arm comes outside of the heel, outside of the ball of the foot. Left arm is going to place itself next to the hip. And then with the right arm, we're going to shimmy that knee up the upper arm to pinch, squeeze. And then right arm comes down, same thing. Lift the hips. And right heel can be heavy. And then as you squeeze the left leg over the arm, lift the right heel and just place it on top of the left ankle. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Lower abdomen is on fire. And drop. Let's try this one more time. You can use that right arm to shimmy the knee up again if you lost a little grip there. Squeeze that upper arm. Okay, let's try this one more time. Hands on either side of the hip. Lift the hips. Lift through the low abdomen. And then from the low abdomen, quickly pop that right heel on top of the left ankle. All right, and then drop down. Nice. Let's come to a straddle here. Press the hips forward. Walk the hands forward. Squeeze the quads in. And you can take a block or maybe 2 blocks at various heights and rest your forehead down. But in this posture, we're not letting our feet kind of fall out to the side, nor are they sickling into the inside. We're keeping the toes straight up and down, and the quads are engaged so that we can release the back, pressing the heels away. Should feel quite nice. Take a couple breaths here. Just notice and move with the breath any areas that feel different or off. Just expand through the breath there. From one side to the other. Good. And then walk the hands up. Use the hands to pull the knees in. And then right knee is going to be bent, and then we're going to swing the left leg around behind. I'm coming into a low pigeon here, so you can keep on that right side of the hip with the left leg bent gently behind you, and then walking the hands out, dropping the head. Or if you want to square your hips in a more active pigeon, there's that option as well. A couple more breaths here. We're getting into that right hip and groin. Let's get a quad stretch, so walking the hands in, and then looking towards that back foot, bend the knee, the back leg, and grab the inside of the foot with the palm of the hand, and then roll the hips gently on top of the mat, squared on top of the mat, and then you should have that grab in your half pigeon to get that left quad stretch. Options here would be to come into this with a strap, so if you're on that right side of your hip, you can grab your strap around the ball of the foot, and then pull it up this way. It feels quite nice, so no matter where you are, it's accessible. And then with your hips squared, you're pulling up through Mula Bandha, the pelvic floor, staying light in the hips, lifting the chest. Since I have the strap, I can even do kind of the dancer with my elbows here above my head. Quite nice actually. So if you do have a strap, this is a really nice way to get into your quads. Walking the hands up, bringing that foot even further towards the hip. Nice quad stretch there. Dropping the tailbone, lifting the chest. And exhale, release. Gently lowering that left leg. And then come to tabletop. And downward facing dog. Wow, what a difference in the sides. Oh my gosh. Let's do this on the other side. Lift the left leg back. And that left knee, come to your pigeon here. Off to the side, just let it rolling off to that left hip. And then I have a nice bend in my back leg. And I'm walking my hands forward. So this is a really nice, more yin way of approaching the pigeon. If you want a little more challenge or to get into a little more of the stretch, you can roll that right hip on top of the left heel and go that way with the hips square down on the mat. And dropping the head wherever you are, breathing into that left groin center and outer hip. If you feel the knee at all, you should, and this goes for the other side too, or any pose, if you feel the knee, come out of it a little bit, bring the foot into a more perpendicular shape, or you can add a blanket underneath the top of the right thigh in a roll. So there are options here to make yourself more comfortable. Couple more breaths here. Inhale, lift the head, walk the hands back. Left hand in front of the knee, right arm comes back to, as you look over that right leg, bend the right knee. And you can do the same thing that you did on the other side, grabbing the insole of the foot with the palm and pulling with the heel pulling towards the hip. Roll that right hip to square the mat, straight up and down like that. Or kind of what was really nice on the other side is you can look back at this right foot, grab a strap around the ball of the foot, and then, my strap's a little tangled here. And then once you have the strap in the ball of the foot, palm face up, bend the elbow up by the ear, and then roll that right hip down. So if you remember from dancer pose, this is how we use the strap in dancer. So left arm is going to come up by the strap. You can lengthen the strap out to give yourself some room, and then once you find that grab, walk the hands up, or if you have the hand inside the foot, just pull that foot in towards the outer hip to really get into that quad stretch. Make this your therapeutic choice that feels best to you. Freeing up breath, releasing the hips, the waist. And remember, we're lifting up through Mula Bandha, getting light in the pelvic floor and tailbone down, lifting the chest, just to keep everything safe and equal. Good, and exhale. Release, let go gently. And then let's make our way to our backs. So we're coming to the end of time here, so any poses that you want to do, wrapping up, happy baby, bridge pose, cobbler pose, reclined cobbler pose. Take whatever you feel you need, and then also have any props that you need if you want to place a blanket under your knees or under your hamstrings. And then roll the shoulders underneath you, palms face up, back of the head heavy. Let's take a nice deep inhale. Exhale. So making your way to your backs any way you like. You need to take again the twist or happy baby. Once you find yourself still and connected to your breath, closing the eyes. Letting the legs fall slack. Just letting the whole body be soft and easy. Not trying to control the breath, just letting the breath be how it is, just how it needs to be, moving and ebbing and flowing with this calm nervous system. Imagine yourself being breathed rather than doing the breathing. So gathering in that external energy, just being massaged by our environment, by the veil of this existence here. Letting the backs of the eyes, back of the tongue and throat be soft. Tip of the tongue is touching the upper palate of the teeth. And resting here for a little bit longer. Bow to the yogi in you. Yoga samasta sukhino bhavantu. Yoga samasta sukhino bhavantu. Yoga samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings everywhere be happy and free. Stay in this posture as long as you need to. And I'll see you guys next week. Thank you so much.